Today I'll be talking about roller coasters that would be perfect for certain parks. Many parks around the United States have a glaring hole in their lineup, and I want to decide what rides will fill those gaps the best. Before we start, I am mainly doing United States parks since those are the ones that I know of, and mostly ones that I have also been to since I know their parks and their lineups pretty well. But enough of the yap, let's just begin in with the video. First up is one of my home parks, and that is Kings Island, and this park really needs a major roller coaster pretty badly. The last time I got a major thrill coaster was Orion in 2020, and the last coaster period was in 2024 with Snoopy Soapbox Racers, which is cool, but they need something else. And the coaster that would be perfect is a Vekoma launch coaster. After riding Siren's Curse, I believe a ride like that, but with a launch, would be perfect for this park. Having a new launch coaster after the only ones in the park currently being Flood of Fear and Queen City Stunt Coasters would be awesome and fills one of their glaring holes. And having some good airtime moments and inversions thrown in would also be very cool and deserving as well. I would like to see this be a custom model, but something like Abyssus would also be great, and I need to see it immediately. We're going over to Kings Island's sister park in Kings Dominion, and I think a B&M Hypercoaster would fit really well into this lineup. After getting this park's inversion machine and launch coaster in Rapterra, the only major flaw in this park's lineup is floater airtime, since they already have their ejector machine with Twisted Timbers. Now imagine a B&M Hyper in the middle of the park in the spot that Viper was in and going around Pantherian. It would be amazing, and if we could see it be Diamondback size as well, it would just be so good and be the greatest possibility. I know the chances of this happening are super low since the old Six Flags Company and the old Cedar Fair have not bought one of these models for a while, but if I had to choose one ride, I think a B&M Hyper would be a perfect addition. I'm now going to switch gears and go to one of the biggest theme parks in the United States in Magic Mountain, and I think they have gotten too many thrill rides recently, so I'm going to humble them and give them a family boomerang coaster built by Vekoma. Now, all jokes aside, this park really only has two holes in their lineup, one being a Giga Coaster, which is cool, but personally, I think that a family coaster would be a lot better since family coasters are kind of bleak in this park. They only have a few kids rides like Canyon Blaster and Roadrunner Express, which are the only real family coasters, and then you also got Gold Rusher and maybe Ninja on the family side. This would be a great fit for a roller coaster to add since it would be more intense than Roadrunner, but on the same level as Gold Rusher, but not too as intense as Apocalypse. Up next is a SeaWorld park that I have been to, and that is SeaWorld Orlando. This park, even with a limited amount of roller coasters, has a pretty good lineup with not many weak spots across the 8 roller coasters in the park currently. And the pick that I'm going to give this park is a RMC Raptor. Many people would rather see a B&M Giga or a RMC Hybrid, but I think a RMC Raptor would be an amazing filler ride for this park. First, it wouldn't take up that much space since this park doesn't really have a whole lot of space for new additions, and I think that one of the weaker sides of this park is ejector airtime. You have other rides like Pipeline and Icebreaker that have some airtime, but I think a single rail coaster with some strong ejector airtime and whippy inversions would just fit so seamlessly into this park. Next up is the king of all roller coaster parks, and that is Cedar Point. This is one of the best roller coaster lineups across the entire United States and probably the world, and has almost any type of roller coaster that you can think of. But I will say this park has one big hole, and that is a new wooden roller coaster. This park has Gigas, inversion machines, launch coasters, ejector airtime moments, and yet the only Woody in this entire park is a PTC coaster from the 60s. So I think to make this a near flawless roller coaster lineup, you would have to sacrifice Gemini since they don't have a lot of room, and get a dueling GCI wooden coaster. This would be a very good way to honor Gemini as well as fixing the new age wooden coaster problem. It could be a dueling or just a normal GCI, I don't really care. Throw in a inversion if you feel like breaking records or whatever they like to do, but all you need is just a new state-of-the-art wooden roller coaster. My pick for Busch Gardens Williamsburg personally is a RMC Hybrid. It was even rumored a couple years ago that this would get a ground-up hybrid like its sister park in Tampa, but I guess those plans fell through, but I really love that concept. This park doesn't really have any ejector airtime outside of Pantheon, and I think it would be a very great way to round out this lineup. It would also blow Twisted Timbers out of the water when it comes to records, if I had to assume so. And it would also just be an advantage to this park since it's such a close proximity to Kings Dominion. I just think that a Iron Gwazi style RMC with insane inversions, ejector airtime would also be amazing no matter where you put it in this park, and would be a top must-do roller coaster in the United States. Next up is the single park in Tennessee, and that is Dollywood. And the ride I feel would make this park a lot better is surprisingly a B&M surf coaster. I love Pipeline at SeaWorld Orlando, and I thought the airtime-filled layout was extremely unique, and I want that for Dollywood. Plus, this park basically doesn't have any large-scale roller coasters with a launch, since Lightning Rod just isn't a launch coaster anymore, sorry, and I feel that another B&M in the park would also be very cool. That's why I also thought maybe giving this park like a dive coaster, I thought that'd be cool, but I thought that the airtime mixed with the unique stand-up fast of the surf coaster would be really cool. Throw a inversion or two into the mix, and I think it could be a very solid roller coaster, and if they made it even bigger and better than Pipeline, that would just be the cherry on top. The last park I'm going to be talking about today, and that is the sister park of Busch Gardens Williamsburg, and that is the one in Tampa, Florida. This park has one of the greatest lineups in all of America, having many great rides, but I want to give this park another A-list attraction, and that is a B&M Giga. I really think that this is the only Florida park that I could ever see getting one of these, since it really does make sense, since there is nothing like it near it. The next closest B&M Giga is all the way in North Carolina in Fury 325, which is definitely not close at all. The Giga would give this park its tallest roller coaster, one with good floater airtime, and if they made it like Orion, it would have some unique elements, or if they decided to make it like Fury, it would have some insane transitions. No matter how they make the B&M Giga, I think it would be a smash hit at Busch Gardens Tampa, and I would prefer to see a Giga go to this park compared to SeaWorld Orlando. Thanks for watching. Tell me which of these rides you think are perfect for their park, or if there are any other roller coasters that would fit into these parks, or just tell me if there's any other parks I should do in the future for another video. But other than that, have a good day.